Nope, it's good.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Purpose and Protein, the podcast from the gym, in the gym, and for the gym. We are super excited about this guest. This one's a little bit closer to home as well. I'm going to try not to get teary in this little introduction, but I can't help but be so proud of who she is. Please give a warm welcome to the very talented, the very gorgeous Ashlyn Hayes, who was the head girl of her school in high school. She is a WA softball representative. She is still studying full-time at uni, and she works part-time here at Plus Fitness in Byford. She's been here longer than I have, so she is the true veteran of this gym, and I'm so honored to have her on the podcast. Please give our Member Services of the Year 2025 a very warm welcome.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
Yes.
I'm so excited. The reason why I'm so excited is because Ash, that we've just come to realize, is our very first Gen Z guest, which means she's not even close to our age. Yeah.
I'm in the 2000s.
10 years plus is the gap. 10 years plus. All right, Ash. So for those who don't know, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay. So I've been working at Plus Fitness for, I think, 5 years, just over 5 years. I started out of high school.
So were you 17 or 18?
I was 17.
Yep.
17, and I trained here from 14. So I was already training and gymming here with my brother and my dad. And then I just wanted to work here because I love the environment, love the gym. It was close to home. I also play softball, of course. I've played sport my whole life. I think it's a really big part of my identity and who I am. Sport is super important to me. I've always played netball since I stopped at about 17, decided to focus on softball. But I also study. I've just graduated. Well, I'm graduating February 12th from a double degree of sport and exercise science and psychology at Murdoch. And this year I'm going into my honours of psychology at the University of Notre Dame. So that's exciting. My goal is to be a sports psychologist for a team. I love travel and I love team environments and team culture and everything that comes with a sports team. So I want to work as a sports psychologist in a team, preferably. I currently also am a assistant strength and conditioning coach, and with kind of an umbrella over wellbeing at East Perth Footy Club. So that's been really amazing, such a good opportunity just to, again, be in a team environment and learn how to communicate with male athletes in a male-dominated sport.
Is that hard already? Is that quite difficult? Do they take you seriously, or
They probably don't.
do they make you work for your title, basically?
Definitely. I did my prac there last year, and I'm a pretty shy person at the beginning anyway, until I get comfortable with people. So I think I really had to force, I was really out of my comfort zone going into that, and I really had to force myself to just fake the confidence. And I know I have the knowledge, but also these boys, some of them have played AFL. Some of them have been playing waffle for 10 years. So they're super experienced. They know what they're doing, and I learn from them and I help them where I can. And it's a different perspective sometimes. And I feel like exercises in the gym, it's always improving, it's always adapting, it's always changing. So different perspectives are always good, but yeah, you definitely have to earn their respect for sure. You have to do the bad jobs and the hard work. And
What's the bad jobs?
Filling up the water bottles, just packing stuff away, packing up training stuff, setting stuff up. But now I've got a bit more of a title and a bit more of a role. I have a bit more of a purpose, which I think helps the boys feel like I belong in the team. But they're so insanely, like, inviting and nice as well at the same time. Like, they're super supportive and very kind people, which has been good.
Well, that's a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Can we just can you just tell everyone how old you are? Because that's a lot of stuff to be doing at
21.
21 guys, 21 and doing all that stuff. That's crazy. That is crazy.
I
You're
also
one of the hardest working 21-year-olds that I have ever met. Your work
thank you.
ethic is ridiculously insane. You are a very rare person to come across, and it's really hard for me when I'm trying to hire staff, the standard that you set, because I'm just like, they don't come like this anymore. Like they're not made like this anymore. So
yeah, I think that comes with perfectionism. Like something I've struggled with a lot is perfectionism, and like having people with mental health and anxiety and things like that. I think to fill your time with so many things helps. And I'm such like if I see myself succeeding, I base my self-worth off that a lot. So like if I'm doing good at work or if I'm doing good at sport or school, I'm happy. But if I'm not, I struggle to find that happiness in other places.
Where did that stem from? Where did that come from? Did that start in school, like in high school, or just wanting to always achieve?
I think so. I think it's just in me. I think it's just part of my personality. It's part of my beliefs. It's just something I've always been like. I've played sports since the age of 4, like softball, netball, since the age of 4 till softball still now. And it's just always something that has been in me. And it goes in all different areas of my life.
Yeah.
Wow. You can see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. 100%.
So on top of wanting to achieve and being successful, when we bring it back to sport, how do you take a loss?
I have improved. I think when I was younger playing netball, like I was at Success, I had some coaches and I was terrible, honestly. I was really bad. If I was playing bad, I was crying. Not on the court, but I would do it in between times. I would do it after the game, carnivals between games, you know, like I was pretty bad. And I remember my coach told me one time to like have a poker face, like you need to save your tears for the pillow. You can't let the other team know. And I think it was more like, oh, what I'm doing is a disadvantage to my game because the other players can see you upset. And they will use that
100%,
especially in netball because you can be physical. Softball's a bit different, it's more of a mental game, and you have that downtime to have a minute and reset when you're batting, but with netball it's go, you know, until your timeout. So I think you don't have that time to cry and be upset. You save it for after. And that takes time to learn. 100% for me, that took so much time to learn because I am a perfectionist. And it all came down to my ability. Like, it wasn't anything to do with other teams, other players on my team, coaching. Like, it was always like, I'm not doing good enough. This isn't my standard. And I think there's just little things, studying sports psychology and learning and seeing a psychologist myself, that tools that you can use to help. Yeah,
that's good. Did any of that like pressure come from your parents though? Like you say you set a standard for yourself.
Yeah.
Did your parents have a standard for you as well, or?
No, I think it was, my parents are insanely incredible. Like, I'm so grateful to have them, and they're super supportive, and something I've always known is it's my choice. Like, I don't have to do this. I don't have to play sport. I don't have to go to trainings every day. Well, something that they always enforce is, like, if you commit, you're committed to the season, and you're committed to trainings, you're committed to games. So, like, I would feel not pressure to go, but knowing that I need to go because I've committed to the team. But it was never pressure to keep going or to succeed or to do well. I didn't have that from my parents, which I'm really grateful for.
Do you think that's what also probably sets you apart? Because I think what we see now is there's so many talented kids out there, but in order for you to be successful and make it to high levels, then that falls on you. because, like you said, your parents never put the pressure on you to do or pursue this sport. This was a you thing.
Yeah.
And I think it's interesting because obviously, Tom and I, we have children. We have girls who play netball. We have kids who do Muay Thai, all of these things.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to lie. I think I put pressure on my daughters because we are very heavily involved in their training. And when I say heavily involved, I mean we are pre-season training, we are everyday training. Their training starts at home.
Yeah.
And we'll take them to training for whatever team they're playing with, whether it's netball, tag, whatever. But at the end of the day, I look at their coach, and in my head I'm saying, I'm the real coach around here. That's
Oh wow.
that's my actual perspective,
Yeah.
because I'm so heavily involved.
Yeah.
And I know that as much as people say leave the coaching to the coaches, in my head I'm like, but the coaching doesn't stop at the court.
Yeah, no, 100%.
The coaching happens at home. It happens when they leave the court. You only have them for 1 hour a week, and the rest it's done at home. Greatness isn't given, it's built.
100%.
And I feel like, because you're so great, and I'm sitting here as a parent and I'm thinking, and I'm hearing you say my parents were chill, my parents were so supportive, and I'm sitting on the other side like,
You're not that, eh?
I
my
think
kids
you can be.
My kids, I am supportive of them, and I want them to play whatever sport they want. He's different. He wants them to play whatever sport he wants them to play. But I have a standard for how they perform, because I know how much work goes into behind the scenes.
Yeah.
And I think that's also because I'm so heavily involved in helping them get there.
Yeah.
But also, I can see the greatness as well.
Yeah.
I can see it starting to the layers coming off and them coming out. Maybe I just need to not be heavily involved.
No, I don't think that's the worst thing in the world. I just think it's important that children have a choice. They have to know that, it's autonomy, and, intrinsically you have to want to do it yourself to be able to get to that next level. And, my parents were involved. My mum was always the manager, or, she was an assistant coach at times. She was involved, definitely. I don't think she's ever missed a game, pretty much in my life, almost. She's there every single time. But there's never, she knows that when I go out onto that diamond, or I go into that field, or I go into the gym, I'm going to give my 100%. No matter what. I'm always going to give my 100%. And if that wasn't the best, then it's okay, because you're not always going to have an incredible day. No one can. No one's perfect. And especially in softball, I don't know if you guys have watched a game of softball, but the best players in the world are succeeding 6 out of 10 times. The best players in Australia are succeeding 4 out of 10 times.
Wow.
And that's good. That's very good. So softball is such a game of failure, and you're already hard on yourself enough, so you don't need outside people being hard on you, because she knows I'm trying my best. Everyone knows I'm trying my best. Everyone's trying their best. I think your kids are always trying their best. So you can't... you can't be too hard on them. I think you have to let them do what they want to do. If they're not going to be sports people, that's fine. They can do something else. But obviously, the things that you do, keeping them healthy, that's so important. You're building those habits now.
Yes, because we had a chat the other day, and the chat was, because remember, in our house we've started this no McDonald's for 2026.
Exactly,
and I asked Ashlyn, do you eat McDonald's? And she was like, no, not really. And I was like her parents, that was never a go-to takeaway.
Exactly.
When she was growing up. And her mum always made the effort to make dinner. So when I asked her, do you eat McDonald's? She was like, no, unless I've gone out, a night on the town. And she's just like, oh, fine, McDonald's it is.
Yeah. I remember trainings, I'd be going straight from school to a bus stop. My mum would pick me up from the bus stop. We'd go straight to softball training. Then straight from softball training, I'd eat dinner in the car on the way to netball. Then we'd go to spring netball, play a game, another game probably, juniors, seniors, then come home. or we were going to Mandurah, because I played, when I was 15, I did under 20s Wannell in Peel for Peel Lightning.
Yes.
And it was in Mandurah. So the trainings are 3 times a week. We lived in Byford. We're driving to Mandurah 3 times a week. So mum's making dinner during the day and then packing it up and taking it to trainings.
What did your dinners look like?
Oh, they were
as a
always
young athlete.
healthy. It'd be a meat, a carb, so like a protein, a carb, and a veggie. So like a salad or some sort of veggie, rice, potatoes, and then a meat.
That's so good.
And I'd always have like a chocolate milk or a protein shake after trainings.
Yep.
And it's so insanely important for like young people to know how to fuel their body correctly, and like building those good habits early, I think really instills it in kids from a young age. And like I'm proof that it builds up and it works in the future. Like now, if I am in a rush, I'm not going to go to Macca's, I'm going to have sushi or something, you know. I'll pick that healthier alternative. So like what you're doing is not awful, and it's not hurting your children. I think you're just building really good habits.
That's cool. Sorry, Ashlyn, you spoke about letting your kids choose. So that's going to stick with me a lot now. Because as parents with young kids athletes, what if the kids don't choose to do anything?
Yeah.
Like, how do we as parents help with that? Because we know sports is good. Because I look at sports as extracting from that. Like, what can my kids extract from that sport? You know, whether they go into a team sport, I know that they can take away how to work as a team, you know, things like that, or they do a solo sport where they can build their confidence. I always think of what can they take from that sport to help with their future, whatever they choose to do in the future. But what if your kids don't choose, like you said, like a sport, like I don't want to play sport? How do we as parents hey, actually sport's good? You know what I mean? Like, because you can take things from it.
For sure.
How would you look at that?
I think every person is different, and I don't want to act like I know more than anyone else, but I'm like,
I think you do, mate. just speak.
The double sports psychology degree over there.
If I was a parent, I think that it's important that yes, we love sport, and yes, we know its benefits, but someone else might not get those benefits out of sport, and they might get it out of reading, or they might get it out of math, or they might get it out of art. You know, like what we get out of sport is, you know, that time to completely focus and switch off, and it's almost like a reset for people like us. But some other people it might not be, and it might be difficult, and it might be taxing, and it might be like a mental strain for them. And it really just depends on the person and what they enjoy and what they intrinsically enjoy, what they really do find happiness from, and what resets them and gets them up in the morning and makes them keep going, you know. And I think that is each individual person's choice, and we can't as parents force that upon them. But at the end of the day, you know, 10,000 steps a day, so still, and like it's still it's still healthy, and we need to be exercising every day, and we need to be building those habits. So even if the child doesn't want to play netball, doesn't want to go to, you know, a sport or team sport, get him into a gym, or get him into a fitness class, or get him into something that they enjoy, like dance or Zumba or whatever it is. Try and find something physical that they enjoy, they can make friends out of. They might do it with their friends, they might not want to do it competitively, but they just want to play social netball, you know, and that's fine as long as they're doing something that keeps them active and they're happy. Yeah, and I think my primary school was a major impact on my sport as well. Like, there was a lot of pressure in my primary school to be good at sport and to do sport.
In primary school?
Yeah.
You're literally between the ages of 4 and 11.
I know, and I think it came from the teachers, to be honest. Like, it was a pretty toxic environment in regards to, like, teachers, like, on, like, faction carnival days and, like...
What school did you go to? Wow.
Yeah.
That's one of the oldest schools here, right?
Yeah, I think it was just, like, it wasn't... I don't know if pressure's the right word. It was just very competitive.
Yes.
And, like, you would... Like, it was definitely, like, a popularity thing to be good at sport and to, like, be in the, you know, inter-school teams and go to inter-school cross-country and, like, you know, it was very, like, a popularity thing to be good at sport and to be fast and athletic. And I think that from a young age probably drove some of that as well, was because I was never, like, naturally talented. I was never, like, I'm not naturally a strong person or a fast person or a super fit person. So doing sport outside of school helped to that a lot. But yeah, I think there was a lot of competitiveness in primary school.
It's funny hearing you say that, because our two daughters coming out of primary, our eldest, she has like the work ethic of like, what do you call them, a racehorse or whatever, like just is similar to you, has very similar traits where she just wants to achieve. She wants to be the best at this, and this, and if she's not the best at it, then she's got to work to be the best at it, or she'll just be like, okay, I don't like that thing. And then we've got our other daughter who is just like, gets in,
Flimsy.
just like such a vibe, is such like, her energy is so contagious, and if she didn't have to work hard, she wouldn't. She would just make all these teams and just be like, don't care. Like just two very different characters in that sense. And hearing you talk about primary school, because they've only just really come out of it. Our middle child, she's going to high school, and she is just hilarious because she's so popular. But she also wasn't like the best athlete in the school. She wasn't the sports, what do you call it? She didn't get the sports award. There was this one time she made it into the inter-school faction carnival. And she literally did one team event, and the rest of the time she was like sitting under the tent. And I said to her, what did you come here for? Just to look after the bags? And she was like, Mom, but I'm such a vibe. And she absolutely is. But at the same time, like, how are you winging? How are you winging all of this? Because you've got one child who's working her bum off to be at the top of her game any moment she has. And then this one just comes in and she's just la-di-da, la-di-da. You know, so hearing you speak about that and the popularity thing, everywhere we go, it's, are you, to my other sister, to my other daughter, it's always, are you loyal sister? But Liella's the oldest, kind of thing. So hearing you talk about that and the pressures of primary school,
I know,
is crazy.
And I think, like, obviously I'm a shy person, so personality does help, and I think I've had to rely on maybe some other qualities to, like, because I'm not super out and extroverted and like chatting to people. So like maybe I let my sport at times talk for me.
That's not a bad thing.
No. But yeah, it's good to see that she's, you know, got friends and is in the groups and all doing all the things, even though she might not be amazing at sport.
She actually is, which is why it's
naturally
funny. She's naturally talented, and I think for us as parents, it's getting her to understand that talent will get you so far.
Exactly. Hard work will beat talent that doesn't work hard.
And so it's reminding her daily that you have to keep working at this. So I don't know if you know this, but in netball, she's a shooter. So she is not allowed to come inside the house until she's put up 100 shots. And that's every day.
Oh, that's mean, man.
That's every day. I was listening to these other coaches out in the netball courts, and they would say, oh yeah, I make my daughter do 50 shots. And I'm like, 50 shots? Like, mate, you're tickling the rim. You better get 100 in. And the good thing about Loyal is she knows. She knows she has to do 100. She's not coming in because you're a shooter. You have to, that's your job. Get those shots in. You got one job. And it's to get those shots in.
No, I was a shooter too. I would be doing the same thing.
How many shots were you doing?
Probably I would just do it until I couldn't anymore. Until it was dark. Pretty much. And then I'd do softball in between. But no, I think in sport everyone comes across those two different types, probably three different types of people, I'd say. Like there's people that just really are there for a good time. I think there's some people that are there because they're naturally talented, and then some people that are there because they work really hard. And I think you need to kind of have a mix of two to go far. Like you need to have some talent for sure, but you also need to know how to work hard. And like there's a lot of talk in sports psych about like mental toughness and resilience, and like honestly to make it to that level you kind of need to be a perfectionist in that.
What do you think is more important? Do you think mental toughness is more important than skill?
At times, 100%, especially in like depending on the sport, like softball, 100%, because it's such a mental game, and it's not just what happens on the court or on the diamond or whatever. It's what happens outside as well. It's how you deal with your coaches and your teammates, and controversy and injuries and setbacks, and it's so many other things that you have to deal with, not just playing and not just talent, because you need to work hard and because the next person's working harder, like there's so many people trying to be the best, so you need to have that edge. So it's good to be talented but also work hard.
That's crazy. Yeah, let's talk about softball. Yeah. I see you got a bat there. You got a few other stuff here as well.
I do.
What's the softball like
in WA? I think we are definitely small. It's a very small community compared to the other states and compared to other countries. We don't, it's a lot of the same core group of people that I've made my way through from under 15s to open women's. But we work really hard, and it's a very supportive community. Like it's like a family basically, my Flames team and my under 23s team. We spend so much time together, especially when we're traveling. Like we spend weeks and weeks together, and you just become like sisters. And the coaches are so have had such an impact in my life. I've had guy coaches, girl coaches, whatever, and they've just been, so many of them have been so incredible and so supportive, and they really do care about you. But the development and the funding that we get makes it very difficult for us to perform and to keep doing well, just because we don't have the resources in WA as other states do. So we do find it hard to kind of break through and do well at nationals.
I guess. Yeah, just for some of our viewers, because softball is something that we probably don't grow up playing.
Yeah.
We probably know more baseball when we think of the two sports. Can you explain to us what the difference are?
Yeah.
And how softball is not even that big in WA, but
No.
is it big anywhere else in Australia?
I would say probably New South Wales is where it's the biggest. That's where Softball Australia is. It's where a lot of our Olympic players are. But it's getting big in SA, in Queensland. They play a lot of tournaments at the moment. There's a competition going on in Brisbane between Japan, Australia and New Zealand. So that's amazing. It's on KO. Go watch it. But Australia and Japan they're good.
Yeah.
Wow.
They're really good.
Yeah.
And Japan and America are just next level. They're just unbeatable at this point. Japan are elite.
Really?
They train 24 hours a day, pretty much. They're elite.
Is that the
Oh
culture?
yeah, they're perfectionists. Yeah, they'll do they're the best. They got to be the best, Japan, and they are. There's a lot of money in AFL. There's a lot of money in. There's getting a lot of money in netball. There's a lot of money in tennis. There's a lot of money in cricket, golf. But for the sports that probably don't get a lot of views, a lot of coverage, a lot of participation, but we've just got back onto KO, which is amazing for Softball Australia. So good for us. We've got the 2028 Olympics coming up. There's 3 girls in our Flames team that are in the Aussie Spirit squad at the moment. Not me, but 3 of our girls, and they're incredible players. One of them's in Brisbane at the moment playing, and they're just amazing people and players. So it is really good that we have 3, and we've got some younger ones in the junior programs. So we're getting there. I think it just will take time, and we just need some sponsors and some junior development. But going back to your question, baseball, softball, basically, I think originally baseball was more designed for men, so the ball's smaller, the bases are further apart, the pitching's a bit different, the fences are further back, the bats are different. You can, there's little game rules, you can lead off before the pitchers release the ball, things like that. Softball, the ball's harder, bigger, the pitching style's a bit different, the fences are smaller, bases are smaller, bats are a bit bigger.
But
yeah.
men do play softball.
Oh yeah, for sure. Men's softball's huge, and women's baseball's big as well. Yeah, just a little bit different sports, but similar.
We got some gear here, Ashlyn.
We do.
What do we got?
Okay, so this one is like it's just a catcher's mask. So I'm a catcher. Basically means I'm behind the batter and I receive the ball from the pitcher. So we wear a mask and all like chest plate, leggings, everything, full gear.
Yep.
We have my glove, catcher's glove specifically. We do have like different fielding gloves, different types of gloves, but this one's my catcher's glove.
Yep.
And
What
then,
are these costs as well? Tell me the cost of these things.
Oh, okay. So my full gear, so like helmet, chest plate, legs, was about 800 for the full set. This glove is from America. I think it was about 500.
Yeah.
So that just
How long does that last you?
My gloves usually
hopefully a
last.
lifetime.
No, like 3 years.
Okay.
Until like then you start feeling like the ball hit your hand.
Oh yeah.
And you have to get a new one because I've dislocated my thumb that many times because the pitches are coming in like depending on who you're catching to from about 80 to 120 kilometers. So like when you're catching it, if you receive it here, like your thumb's gone.
Yeah.
So I will wear a thumb guard, but once the glove's done, you need to get a new one.
Nice.
Bats are expensive, probably like anywhere from 500 to 900. I think this was like 8 something, but you can get lots of different types of bats.
Yeah. So do you only play one position in softball or do you play a few?
It's good to play a few. I think that's with all sports, you want to be utility.
Yeah.
With softball, you usually specialise, especially when you're a battery, so like a pitcher or a catcher. You do specialise in those positions, and then like there'd be infielders and outfielders.
Yep.
But as a catcher, you do want to have a secondary position, so like I'll play third base or outfield. But yeah, some people, usually pitchers, they'll just pitch.
Some of those positions require different body types there, eh?
Oh,
Who,
yeah.
Who's getting? Because you told us you get players from other countries.
Yeah. So we do have, we had an American in our team that we just travelled with. She was a pitcher. We do predominantly, when we travel and play at nationals, the imports are pitchers. Just because that is something that we struggle with in Australia, is developing our own pitchers, and especially in WA. We don't have a massive pool of good pitchers. We have a few really talented pitchers, but not quite enough to get us through a tournament. So we do rely on those imports, and they're just incredible. Like the import we had this year was just phenomenal. She was such a great person, an amazing player. And then when we travel, like even at under 23s level now, we're seeing imports. Like ACT had a Japanese pitcher import. SA had 2 American pitching imports. So like you get to face these incredible people that have spent hours and hours and hours training, and we don't get to face them at any other point in time. So it's such an amazing experience. It's challenging for sure, but it really is an amazing experience.
Are the imports being paid to come and play
Surely.
here?
I think they don't pay. So like I know our import, we cover her costs.
Yep.
I'm not sure if they get paid. Like I don't know that they're allowed to get paid,
Okay.
or if it's like an under the table type thing, but I know that we pay for them.
So So no rego fees.
So if we get an import over for the season, so if they're over for like a 6-month period, which we do get, we'll put them up in a house, give them a car,
all that stuff.
all of that type of stuff. They pay for their own food usually.
Yeah.
Depends on the family that they stay with. But for a player that's just coming over for tournament, it's only like a week and a bit. So it's just like we could cover flights, accommodation, food,
That's
levy,
crazy.
things like that. But the talent that the other states get, it's like it's number one in America. Like it's the top of America, which is just elite. Like it's the Olympic pitchers we're facing, and I can't even explain to you the talent that they have. Like it's crazy.
Is that intimidating? Sorry.
What would make an American player come to WA then? Because you just said WA's softball is not is not big, but then you got someone from America where softball is really big. What would make them come and play?
Most of the time, it's a player that's finished college. So in America, once you finish college, if you're not like in that next level, there's not like heaps you can do. So good players, and a lot of players in America, they'll travel. And even in Australia, they play in Europe, they play in Japan, they play in America, they play in Australia. They just travel and play because they're good and they love softball and they like to travel and
something different.
It's free. If you're good enough, it's free. Why not? And the people that enjoy it, they come over here to help us improve. They teach us stuff. They run clinics. They work with the juniors. They coach. I think they just enjoy improving softball. Giving back to the sport that gave them so much. Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
All right, guys, we hope you are enjoying this episode. Also, we just want to say a massive thank you to everyone who tuned into our episode 5 with PT Chris. That episode has absolutely gone off its rockets. Shout out to Chris for really pushing that one as well. So if you are loving this episode, if you are probably an athlete, you like softball, or just in general a parent or a coach, and you're enjoying this episode, give us a like, leave us a comment, subscribe to Purpose and Protein, and
Okay, sweet guys, we're gonna do rapid fire at this time because normally we'll do it at the end, but we feel like we just need to keep it going, keep it interesting. So the rules are just don't think. I think that's the only rule.
Okay.
Okay, Ashlyn?
Yeah.
Okay, what do we got? Favorite position to play?
In softball?
Yes, in softball.
Catcher.
Catcher. Do you want to explain why though?
When I was younger, I was similar build, so quite skinny, quite tall. And I think I was always told that I have a good build to be a pitcher. My mum was a pitcher. And there was a player who played in our senior team and she was a catcher and she had a similar build to me and I really looked up to her. And it just made me want to go against everyone and catch instead. And I had some really influential catchers in my life and coaches who helped me with that. Then I just loved it. I just loved that it was difficult. It was something that I wasn't sort of built for. And I think that you have a lot of control when you're catching, a lot of control in the game, and you're constantly involved in the game, and it forces you to stay locked in for however long the game is, 2 hours, 3 hours, an hour and a half. Because sometimes, it's just a 7-inning game. So there's no time. It's just when 7 innings is done, the game's done. So you could be locked in for an hour or 3 hours, but you're constantly receiving the ball. You're constantly in the game. You're constantly having to think. And in a way, that's kind of calming for me.
Yeah, sweet. Cool.
Yeah.
Calming. Oh, that's the next question. Walk-up song. So what's your hype song for someone in this generation?
Anything like Rihanna, Charlie XCX, Beyonce, Cardi B. Yeah.
Wow.
I remember having this conversation with Ashlyn. There was like an R&B show coming to Perth, and I was like, do you know who blah 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 and blah blah blah? Do you know Pitbull and blah blah blah? And you were just like, no. No idea. So to hear you say Rihanna is quite refreshing.
I like Rihanna.
Cardi B.
She's good.
Cardi B. Yeah, because Cardi B's this gen.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. That's all good. Biggest ick on the field. Ick.
Oh. Probably like batting gloves in a back pocket. It's very
Batting
baseball.
gloves in the back pocket.
Yeah. If you know, you know.
Okay then.
If you know, you know.
I feel like it's a softball baseball thing.
Win ugly or lose close.
Oh, lose close for sure. I hate poor losers, poor winners. Always be respectful.
Ashlyn, to be honest, I've never seen you train in the gym, so
She does.
Yeah, I don't train
She
here.
works when you come here.
Yeah,
okay.
I don't train where I work because I just get interrupted.
That's good.
See? Exactly.
Nicole doesn't do that.
I can't train here.
Prime
Squats or
example.
deadlifts?
Deadlifts. But also RDLs.
Yes.
Well, good.
100%.
Good. Ice baths. Do you do them? Do you love it?
I do. We ice bath a lot, especially after games. In tournament, for sure. We're in that ice bath 15, 20 minutes. I hate it, but love it. Like, you will, if you're an athlete and you're not ice bathing, you need to ice bath. Like, you will feel better after it.
Yep.
I promise.
Cool. Early morning shift or late shift?
Oh, I like an early morning shift because it forces me to get up.
Cool. Protein shake? Flavor?
Vanilla or banana.
No, banana. So I'm just going through whatever I see first. One habit you swear by? Because you spoke about having good habits growing up.
Yeah. I think a good overall habit would be like putting yourself first. And I think that applies in so many contexts, like habit as in like putting yourself first by like making your bed in the morning, or like putting yourself first by making sure you drink water, putting yourself first by taking the time to go to the gym, putting yourself first by making time to meal prep and making sure you have the right food for the day, and like just a habit of putting yourself first. Yeah.
Wow.
Is it hard for you to rest?
Yes, very difficult. That's something I talk about a lot with my psychologist, is like, I like, in my calendar, I pretty much plan like every hour of every day. So I actually like schedule in rest times. Otherwise I just won't rest. Like, I just keep going until bedtime. So like, I'll schedule an hour of like nothing, like of just time where I just like have to like stretch or do yoga or like read or go on my phone or like whatever. But if I've got like a busy couple weeks or a week or whatever, I will purposely schedule like rest times to intentionally force myself to rest.
That's interesting.
Yeah. One advice you'll give to your younger self?
It's not that deep. Like, I cared so much about everything, and it's not that deep. Like,
that's irrelevant for a Gen Z.
Yeah. Hey, I'm just reading what's on there. What's next for Ashlyn?
I will continue my studies. I want to obviously do well in my honours this year. Hopefully, I get into masters. The dream would be a masters in sports psychology at the University of Queensland. That's my goal. It's always been my goal since year 11, year 10 probably. So move over there for a year, study sports psychology masters, and then at that time it'll be getting close to the Olympics. So my dream would just be to go on to the Queensland QIS, Queensland Institute of Sport, and just continue hopefully as a sports psychologist in the Olympics. That would be the dream.
Wow.
But yeah, that's pretty much it.
Olympics. That's a good one.
I got a question for you, Ash.
Yeah.
If you didn't have softball, what would you be doing?
I probably would have stayed with netball. I think when I was 16, I did have to make a really difficult decision, like picking between netball and softball. And I think it's important for an athlete, like around that age where you are kind of peaking at both your sports and you're like getting to the top of that level, and you have to decide. You can't do both, especially as a student, like going to school all day and then having to go to trainings and games, and it's just too much to put your 100% into everything. So it was very difficult for me to decide between the two, and I think I had like a lot of really positive people in my life to help me make that decision at the time, but probably I would have just stayed with netball or chosen another sport.
What do you think pushed you over to softball instead? Because I do understand there's like a lot of politics in sports.
Yeah, for sure.
And it can become very loud and distracting.
Definitely.
So what was it that pushed you over to softball instead of netball?
I think I was definitely pushed very hard at netball very young, because it was like always such a big passion of mine, and I was always like playing up and playing the next level and doing everything I could, and I think I just got burnt out, to be honest with you. Like, I think I was just overworked, overwhelmed. I had some amazing people in netball and some amazing teammates, but the community and the support and the love is just, for me, was just greater in softball. And I think I just was drawn to that. I was drawn to like the energy and the community and the love that I felt at softball over netball. And also like physically, I was probably obviously not tall enough for netball, not big enough for netball, not strong enough for netball. I've always struggled to put on weight. So I think physically as well, I kind of had reached my peak for netball. Like playing under 20s one was like amazing experience, but I couldn't probably see myself going any further. Like who knows what would have happened, but like it would have been tough for me to keep going given my size and height. And I think that it is still important in softball, but it's probably not like a complete like problem. You know?
Because in netball, as you said, you have to have the netball physique,
of course,
in order to make it, even at the young ages.
Definitely.
And I remember having this conversation in the car with Tom this one day. I think we were driving our kids to like a trial for like success or something, and I was like ranting about how upset I was because this really good player was so tiny, and like she was going to get overlooked because you had a tall giant player who had the height, who had the physique, and she was going to get picked over the skill that the little tiny player had. And I remember just being so upset about it, and then Tom just being, that's netball. Like they see things as this person looks like a netball player, we can teach them the skill. And so yes, I do understand that part about netball. You did say that you played 1-all.
I did, yes.
When you were 15.
I did, yes.
Playing under 21s.
Under 20s 1-all at the
under
time.
20s?
It was, yeah.
How was that experience for you? Do you think playing up, because you're 15, playing under 20s, how did that impact you? Was that a good thing, or was that not a good thing?
Like I'm so grateful for the opportunity, and like for my coaches and the team, and the fact that I even got in. Like it was insane and incredible at the time. Looking back, I think that maybe I was too young. Like it did definitely like take a toll. Like I was burnt out. Like I was, club association at the time. We had like this thing called Metro League. I don't know if you still do that. We had Metro League. We had 1-all. Like that was all happening at the same time, and at the same time I'm playing state softball. And school, and trying to have a social life. So it was super challenging, and I probably wasn't getting the validation that I seek from sport. So like a lot of the time, like I'll be encouraged by, I don't know, rewards or positive reinforcement, things like that, and I just probably wasn't getting what I wanted out of 1-all and out of netball at the time. So I don't regret it. I'm glad I did it. And it was so much fun and I loved it. But yeah, I was really young and the other girls were a lot older than me, and I probably wasn't ready and like talented enough to be there, but I did my best and I don't regret it.
Cool. You mentioned the word burnt out a couple of times now. As a parent, I know it's so important for parents to understand when their kids are actually getting burnt out. You managed to handle that pretty well to achieve what you've already achieved at this time. Is there anything you can say to the kids out there that feel like they're getting burnt out, but their parents are not realizing that? In a sense?
I think it's super important to understand that like any like emotion or thing that your child is struggling with, like a lot of the time it's not their choice, and it's not something they're choosing to feel, or it's not a way they're choosing to behave, and like when a lot of athletes do struggle with mental health because sport is an outlet for them, and I think that a lot of the times when a child is like burnt out or exhausted, or they might display those symptoms in a different way, and they might become really quiet, or draw back from school, or cry, or whatever. And it's important that like you take the time to let the child explain what's happening to them, and also get them the help that they need. Like it's not embarrassing or it's shameful to go to a doctor and get a mental health plan and go to a psychologist. You know, it's super important and it's super helpful, especially for young kids and in sport. Like, it's really helpful to talk to someone outside of your family that you might not feel comfortable speaking with. But also just look out for like the signs and symptoms of like burnout and exhaustion and overtraining and things like that. Like, are they getting injuries? You know, are they pulling up sore? Are they recovering properly? How are they doing mentally? Like, are they enjoying it? Do they still have friends? Do they have a choice? And like, it's always just going back to like, are they choosing to keep going or are you forcing them? And at that point, it's like, if you keep forcing them to go, they're just going to resent it and they're not going to perform how you want them to anyway. So you need to let them choose to go, choose to improve, choose to work hard, and then they'll succeed.
Fair.
I feel like you're teaching us stuff, Ash.
I think it's just because I've lived it and I know, and I've talked to so many girls and boys at footy and things like that about this, and it's such a common experience for a lot of young athletes. Yeah.
I agree.
Would you say in a lot of the conversations that you have had that a lot of the pressure young athletes feel does come from parents?
Honestly, no. Like, maybe more so when I was playing netball. I think there was a lot of pressure from the parents. Like, we did have a lot of controversial parents. Like, but now as I'm older and also playing in softball, I don't think there is a lot of pressure coming from parents.
Yeah.
I think it's more when you get to about 17, I think you see a lot of girls stop playing sport, or boys, or just people stop playing sport, and those are the people that don't want it, don't intrinsically want it. It's not their choice to be there.
Yeah.
After the age of 17, usually the people that chose to go to work, chose to have boyfriends or girlfriends or whatever, they went and did that, and then everyone else left is there because they want to be there, you know, and it's their choice to be there. They're paying for it most of the time. They're giving up their time, their hours, their money that they could be making to be there. So not anymore. I don't think that is the pressure of parents, but younger, for sure, 100%. In softball, a lot of girls go to college and they go to America and they play over there, and it's super taxing on their mental health, like super taxing. And some of my close friends have gone and come back and gone again and come back and so on, and like communicating with them and talking to them whilst they're over there, like they're constantly training, schooling, or, you know, traveling, and it's very difficult for them, and they don't have that support system. So I feel for them, and I think that it's super impressive that they're able to do that and go over there to America and play college, but at the same time, like, I can't even imagine how difficult it would be for their mental health, you know.
That's crazy. Because not just experience, Ashlyn, you're actually helping us with like your knowledge as well. You know, I know you're still young, but you've actually been through the whole, you know, systems of trying to be a better athlete and
100%.
stuff. But you're also studying it as well. So those
Yeah.
are two big things that could help a lot of parents out there with their kind of knowledge and experience that you've actually been through. So yeah, well done there. I think the more we get out of you, the more we can help other parents.
For sure.
Because you're definitely helping me, Nicole. But like, in a
Change my
sense, in the same way, there's a lot of parents that watch this as well.
I'm
and
not
we're
the
gonna
coach,
watch
they're
this.
the coach.
Yeah, and I think like actually a point I was going to bring on that is like how you were saying that you don't feel your coach is
Doing enough.
Yeah, and that's like something that everyone struggles with, like wanting more. Like, if like, it's not a bad thing to want more and to want to be the best and to want to have the best, and it's not also a bad thing to like go out of your way to get the best. Like, if you need to leave your friends and leave a team and leave a coach to go play for a different team that you know that you're going to be better in, or you want to play up, you don't want to play with your friends, you want to play in a higher grade, but you're going to sit on the bench, but you're playing with people that are better than you. If you want to get to that next level, you have to take those steps. It's compulsory. Like, you need to play out of your comfort zone with people that are better than you, with a coach that's better than you, to get better.
I want to go here just for a little bit, because I know you've spoken highly about your coaches.
Yeah.
And have you ever had a coach that you were just like, nah, like, because my kids have had some really good coaches, and then I've seen my kids have some coaches, and I'm just like, why are you here, bro? Like, what are you here to offer? And it frustrates me as a parent, because we get coaches for our kids and we trust you to do, you know, your part, which is to coach the kids, coach the team, so that they can get so they can upskill. And then we as parents will do what we need to do behind the scenes to help them get to that space. Have you had any situations where you're just like, and did you speak to your parents about it, or how did you change any of those situations? Did you have a terrible coach or at all, or were they all just shiny and bright and beautiful?
No, definitely not. I think you're not an athlete if you haven't had a coach that you disagree with or dislike. Like, that's just inevitable, and it's just inevitable in life. You're always going to have people that you disagree with, that you don't get along with, that your personalities clash. But like with all the girls that I coach, and I've coached quite a few, I always tell them, like, you need to listen to every single coach, and no matter what, like, you need to listen to what they say, but you don't have to take it on board. Like, you need to try it out. Like, if a coach tells you throw like this, not like this, try it out, because it might work better for you. You don't know what that coach has been through. You don't know who's taught them, what they've learned, where they've played. Try it out, but if it doesn't work for you, that's okay. You don't have to continue with it. But always listen and respect a coach, because at the end of the day, they're giving up their time and their money and their effort to be there to help you. So respect them and listen to them, but you don't have to agree. You don't have to love them. They don't have to be your best friend. You might not respect them, and you might not entrust what they're going to say or think that they're right, but respect them, but you know, they might not be right, and you might know more than them. And like, at the end of the day, we've got girls in our team that have played for Australia and are probably going to play in the Olympics, and like, our coaches might just be like someone's parent, you know, or a club coach or whatever, but we still respect them, we still listen to them. But it's okay to then go and ask this Australian player, hey, should I do it like this, or should I do it like this? Is there a better way to do it? What's your opinion? And now that we've gotten to this age, and I think it probably starts around 16, 17, that you do need a coach to guide you, but at the end of the day, I know that I can go up to my teammate and we can have those competitive conversations and performance conversations, what we call them, on the field, off the field, because we recognise, we see in each other what we can improve. And especially with softball, there's so many visual things that are like, oh, if you just do this, and you don't even realise you're doing it, but you look at someone else and you go, hey, just try this and see if it works. Try it. If it doesn't, whatever, all good. But I think it's important to take on everyone's advice and then try it and see if it works. If it doesn't, all good. But yeah, that's what I would say.
As an athlete, being teachable is very important.
Coachable, 100%. That's like, if you want to get into a team, you don't have to be the best. You just have to try really hard and be coachable. At the end of the day, like, you don't need to be the best player, like, unless you're obviously trying for Australian teams and things like that, but just be coachable and try 100%, and I'm going to pick you every day of the week, you know?
So what are we, millennials? Am I a millennial? I surely am.
Are you a millennial?
I'm 1990.
Yeah, you're a millennial.
Oh, shush. So we obviously didn't grow up with social media straight away.
Yeah.
We were introduced to the Nokia when I was maybe a year 7, I think, which would have been around, let's not go there. So we grew up with like the brick phones, the Nokias, the Snake Game, that kind of stuff. And then the flip phone came out. You obviously were born in like freaking iPhones were out and didn't have the big computers and things like that.
No.
Has that had a big impact on you growing up?
100%, like, for sure, definitely. Everything's on social media. I had a phone from probably year 7, I would say. When I started year 7, I got my first phone. I'm not that young. Like, I did have like the DVDs and like the the big computer when I was younger, and I did have a BlackBerry phone, my
Okay,
first ever one.
okay. All right, we can relate.
And then I got an iPod, you know, like the little iPod plays, and then I got
but how old were you?
When
you got an
my
iPod?
little pink iPod, I reckon I was maybe 12.
Yeah,
12 or 13.
We would have been in high school.
Yeah. I think that there is a lot of pressure to look perfect on social media, and like, you know, when you guys would go out when you were younger, it would be like to go out, have fun, have drinks, whatever. But like, we're like, okay, so we go out, where can we take a photo? You know, what?
Yeah, wow.
Where's this going to look good? How am I going to look here? Okay, good lighting. Okay, let's get my digital camera out and take a photo. You know, like, there is a bit of that. And I think that as well as there's a lot of, like, even in sport, you know, advertising on social media, and there's always like a social media person who runs social media accounts, and it's about followers, and you know, it's all of that. And I think it's not always a negative thing. Like, it's good for advertising, and it's good for getting softball and just anything out, you know, news, everything. But there's downsides that come with it for sure. And a lot of pressures, and looking good, and making sure you get the right photo and curate the right photo dump, and you know, getting the right stories and stupid things like that. But you can choose to care or not, I think.
Yeah, and I think what I love about you is because if you work here at Plus Fitness Byford, social media posts are non-negotiable.
Yeah.
And the reason why they're non-negotiable is, like you said, it's for marketing purposes.
Of course.
And what I've loved to watch you do over the years is you've just stopped caring.
Yeah.
You've literally stopped caring what other people think about you and how you may come across. Because let's be honest, we do some cringy as videos. Our latest one is probably the most cringiest one.
You just have to not care.
And it's the not caring
Yeah.
factor. It's the not caring how you come across. And I think we're lucky that we've yet to experience a troll.
We haven't. We get no hate, honestly.
And I think somebody did try to troll us, but I looked at it and I kind of was like, well, not hurt at all. Like, it
I
doesn't
just
hurt
think
me
it's
at
so
all.
sad that people hate on any creators or any like TikTokers, Instagram, whatever. Like, I just don't see the point in leaving negative comments or hate or anything on. Like, if you have an opinion, like, you're not usually in person, you wouldn't voice it, you know. Like, if you think someone, you don't like their top, you're not going to tell them. Yeah. But on social media, they're going to tell them, and they're going to tell them that they don't like their pants and whatever as well, you know. Like, what gives you the right to just do that? And I think it's crazy. And personally, I could never. Never.
Yeah. Okay, let's go into a deeper space for just a little bit.
Yeah.
And let's talk about the mental health journey that you went on, how young you were when you understood that you were having some troubles along the way, and what that looks like now.
Yeah, for sure. So I think another reason why I chose to study psychology from year 10 was because I knew it was something that I struggled with, and I think it's important to also recognise that it's definitely a hereditary thing, like not in every case, but in a lot of cases. So it was something that I visually watched and like saw growing up through like grandparents and aunties and parents and things like that. It was something that my family struggled with in general, and then something that I started to struggle with quite early. I probably around the age of 8, 9 started like showing symptoms of anxiety, and just struggled with like certain things like sleeping and going to school and things like that. But I got in to see a really great psychologist, and you know, kind of got through that bit of a difficult time to start with, and then probably come around age 15, 14, it sort of tried to come back and got a bit worse, and went back in to see my GP. It's super important that you go get a mental health plan, see a psychologist, all of that.
What were the triggers, Ash? So I know you're saying like you've come in and out of anxiety. What was triggering?
I think it's just like the age, like puberty, and like from a young age when you first start to like feel those emotions and feel those things, and most people do start to show signs around that early kind of age, and I did, and then I spoke to someone, and then I stopped, and then it didn't come back, it never left, but obviously those symptoms just potentially got worse. I think it is just puberty in that age, and like it's almost like it's an inevitable type of thing for me. Like with it being hereditary, it's difficult to stop. But then it kind of manifested in more of, you know, the depression and like some physical symptoms, which did play an impact in my weight a lot, especially like, which obviously in turn impacts your sport a lot. Eating healthy, as I said, is super important, and with my mental health at times I struggle to eat and feel my body properly, and then when you're doing exercise on top of that every day, obviously you're not putting in enough calories. I was not putting in enough calories to support my body, and I did lose quite a lot of weight. This was probably this time last year.
Yep.
I was about to leave for nationals, and I was down to about 50 kilos, which was my lowest, just struggling to eat, and was just, you know, vomiting a lot and not feeling good, lots of anxiety, lots of stress, and I was like an outpatient for a while, so like checked into a mental health institute, was seeing professionals and everything, but was still able to go to work and be out and live my life and go to sport and things like that. And, you know, throughout that time I had tried different medications, and that's another thing that's really difficult, is being an athlete and also having to rely on medication, because sometimes that medication might not be allowed in your sport, not for performance enhancing reasons, but just because it might be something that is a depressor or something that calms you down, which isn't allowed in sport. So that is a challenge that you have to overcome, and just in general with people with mental health, it's finding the right medication takes so much time. And I think that with children who potentially have parents that might not struggle with mental health, it's important that you understand that it takes time, and like these symptoms aren't something that can be cured with being mentally stronger, or like it's not a weakness that this person has, and it's not a reflection of their confidence. It's actually something that they can't control, and something that they're not going to get over. Potentially they're not going to find a cure, but there's symptoms, there's tools, and there's medications, and there's breathing exercises, and there's people that you can talk to help, and it's about like finding all those small things that help. And you know, like I've seen so many success stories, and heard so many success stories, and experienced so many success stories. Like I'm back up to 60 kilos like a year later, and I'm stronger, and I'm able to eat, and I'm, you know, like I'm still not perfect, and I'm still struggling, and I still have my moments, and I'm still like traveling now, like I still experience those struggles in high pressure situations, and no one with mental health is going to be perfect, and they're always going to have times where they struggle, where they fall back into their old habits, or, you know, have experienced their old symptoms. But it's just about like making it like an 80-20 thing, not a, you know, or like a 60-40 thing, you know, like it's just about being a little bit better every day, and like finding those small wins and looking for those small wins and small improvements, and not expecting life-changing things to happen overnight, because it takes so much time with these things. Like, you know, it just takes time to help and to see improvement. And I'm super passionate about helping athletes, because athletes it's so much physical for them, and I think that there's so much emphasis on the physicality of sport and just not enough on the mental side of sport. Like the psychological side of sport is so important, and can really make change a player from being elite to not, is how mentally they control themselves and handle themselves and talk to themselves and talk to other players. So I think it can make a major difference in an athlete's life specifically as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
That, shucks, that was a lot. Yeah, I was like, so you're telling me, after all the stuff that you've done and accomplished, you were going through mental health. I heard the age of 9. Is that true? It started at 9?
Yeah.
Shucks, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So crazy.
Yeah, I think not to get too deep, but like my parents struggled a lot as well, and I think a lot of times with mental health it can be a learnt response, like it can be learnt at times, and like you never want to blame your parents or anything, of course, but you know, these are learnt and they are hereditary and they are reinforced, so the phone. Yeah, so it's just about, like, I don't know, being conscious of what you're doing and what you're showing and what you're allowing your kids to see. I think at times it's like, do we need to, like, do this? Like, it's just about, you know, being aware of what your impact has on your children and what they see and how they then respond to that. And everyone has different experiences that they go through and different traumas younger that, you know, make that person who they are. And everyone is, you know, we're talking about mental toughness. Everyone has different levels of mental toughness and resilience, and that comes into how you bounce back and how you deal with mental health. And yeah, it's just about having a good support system as well. And that doesn't have to be family, you know, like it might not be your family, it might be your team, it might be your work friends, it might be whatever, but having a good support system and someone you can talk to as well is super important.
That's crazy. Because growing up in a Samoan household, so culturally, we expect mental toughness to be so high.
Yeah.
Like even we look at a young Samoan, young Pacific Islander, we expect their mental toughness to be so high.
Yeah.
Do you think that the standards now and the more that people talk about mental health is going to help these parents realize that they're just all a kid, you know, and they can feel that stuff at a young age, like at 9 years old?
I hope so.
Yeah.
I don't think that like mental toughness is something that you develop over time, and it doesn't mean that you can't cry or you can't have bad days or you can't feel sad or you can't go through failure. You know, it's not about the failure or the sadness or the anger, or it's about how you come back the next day. And that's what mental toughness is. It's not about all the awful stuff that happens. It's about what you do the next day.
Wow.
Yeah. And how you come back and how you be better and how you learnt from that experience, what you took out of it, and then what you do in that exact same situation next time. Put into context, like I was just watching a TikTok last night about this guy, Timothy Cho. If you ever have time, go and look at him. He's a refugee from Vietnam, and he's a refugee from North Korea, and he was just like, he escaped to China and then got sent back and back to prison, and then he escaped again and he got into Shanghai and then got sent back again, and then he escaped and they like ran into a primary school, and one of the girls, and then he got caught and sent back to like a prison in Shanghai, and he was just like really struggling, and like they don't feed you, and it's a concentration camp pretty much. Anyway, this girl who saw him in the primary school reached out to a journalist and said like this person's name and said like, you can't let him go through this, like this is horrible, he's gonna die, blah blah blah. Anyway, he got sent to somewhere else, and he managed to get to the UK, and he's now living like a life in the UK. And like when he was 10, also his parents left him because they were getting like, it was just a whole awful story. And like then at the end of it, you know, he's happy and he's living his life in the UK and it's amazing, but it's like, how can I feel sad after this poor human has been through this? But it's just about, you know, putting your own life into perspective, and
everyone is different.
Yeah, for sure.
Everybody's different. Everybody's mental is different. Do you think medication should be a go-to, or do you think there's things we can do to prevent having to use medication?
Yeah.
Because I'm like such a big, like I won't even take Panadol if I don't really need to.
Yeah.
I would always see medication as honestly the last resort, and I would try to utilize as many other things possible.
Yeah.
How, like on the scale of 1 to 10, how much do you rate medication being an option?
I think that's a really, really good question, and something that like I have dealt with a lot. Like my dad specifically is like really against it, medication wise, and has the similar thoughts to yourself. What I try to explain to him is mental health is my mental health, and from my studies and just from reading and research and so on, I do believe that like a lot of it is caused from like the imbalances of chemicals in your brain. So like, you know that your body produces serotonin and dopamine and neurotransmitters which produce chemicals that make you happy. People who struggle with depression and anxiety and other mental health, those chemicals aren't released to the same amount, and there are certain genes that get turned on and off, and it's not just a psychological thing, it's actually a physiological thing that happens in your body that causes these symptoms to happen. And I think that that's where a lot of people don't understand, and medication can help to rectify that, similar to medication can help to thin your blood or, you know, help your muscles or keep your heart going, or etc. Medication for mental health can actually just help balance out those chemicals, and it's not about, you know, making them delusional or making them fall asleep. It's actually about just helping them live a normal life and making them feel comfortable and confident to go on with their day. So I don't think that it should necessarily be seen as such an awful negative thing, but there are so many other things that you can for sure do first, like going to your GP, getting a mental health plan. The first thing you do is like usually would be to speak to somebody, speak to a psychologist. That can always help. Get a diagnosis, like figure out what you're actually dealing with. Do your own research. Like, you know, there's so many apps and books and Google and, you know, so many different things that you can do to help depending on what you're struggling with, you know. Exercise is such an amazing one, of course. We know that exercise releases endorphins naturally, which is a chemical that some people might struggle to release naturally. So exercise is such a brilliant one, but there's also so many other things, and it just depends on the person, you know. Like, as we were saying before, like if they really enjoy art, maybe it's taking the time to actually do that. Or if you just enjoy going to a cafe every morning, taking the time to go and do that, like, helps release those chemicals and make you happy and things like that. So there is definitely so many other ways that you can help, but I don't think it should be necessarily something that we're like last resort, you know, because it's just another thing that can help.
Fair.
And it's like, if you have like 20 things that help and now you're 80-20, but if you have, you know, 10 things that help and you're not including that medication, you know, it might just be that thing that gets you to go to school, do your homework, get it in on time, feel happy, go to family events, and you can try it, and that might not be the right medication for you, so you try something else, and that one might not be the medication for you, so you try another one, and then you feel like you've, you know, incredible, like you can live again, you know, and that's how it can feel for some people. And I don't think that that's necessarily a negative thing, but it's super important as well, I've found out recently, is not just entrusting the opinion of one specialist as well. Like, I think it's super hard to find a good specialist and a good doctor as well, and that's something that you need to prioritize. If you do, like, I just think for anyone, honestly, you need to prioritize finding a good medical staff, medical team for you and what you need, and just making sure your psychiatrist and psychologist are, like, because a psychiatrist is someone who can prescribe and give you medication. A psychologist is just someone you really talk to. So having that psychiatrist to have a second opinion on what medication you're taking, as well as a GP, as well as your, you know, psychologist. And, you know, I've got a sports doctor and a physio and, like, a GP, and it's just making sure that, like, it's difficult and it takes time, and then, like, it's hard to find these people that are good and that you relate to and that understand you, but once you do, it's amazing.
Yeah.
You know, people with mental health, they at times can have a distorted view of reality, you know, and your reality isn't the same as my reality. Yeah. You know, you see things differently to how I see things. And it's all about perspective, and what I've been through compared to what you've been through makes you look at things differently. And, you know, just from, you know, even like, there's so many studies, like twin studies specifically, which I think is really interesting about pretty much what you just said, is two twins that, like, in back in the day when you could do whatever you wanted in psychological experiments, they didn't care about ethics or whatever, they would separate twins, put one with an awful hostile family and one with an incredibly wealthy family, see them grow up and see what they do differently. And it doesn't matter how physiologically, biologically, you are the same. Like nature versus nurture, and like nature and nurture, it's proven, well, I think it is, like they both impact you equally. So like your upbringing, your environment, who you surround yourself with, what you surround yourself with, as well as your biological and physiological upbringing, definitely impact who you are and your outlooks and your perspectives and your values and everything like that. So for this one twin, you know, crossing a bridge might be the easiest thing in the world. For this other twin, it might be the hardest thing in the world because they're afraid of heights. You know, like it's really so dependent, and nature and nurture are so intertwined, and like it takes both to create a person. And
Nature and nurture.
it's a really big, really old big topic in psychology.
Yeah.
A lot
So
of
that's
people,
basically who you are and where you are.
yeah. So like I read there was a lot of people that believed that you are what you are. So your parents, they give you, you know, genes and like chromosomes and whatever, and you are that. And that's what you grow up as. There was a lot of people that believed that no, it's based on your environment and your influences and the people around you and the culture. That's what you become. But later in psychology, as most things are, it's a little bit of both, and there's no right or wrong answer. It's a combination.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Well, this has been a very great episode. You've taught me so much. You've made me want to rethink some of my parenting. No apologies needed around here.
No.
I stand on what I stand on.
100%, and there's no right or wrong way. Like, it's everyone's opinion, perspective, and yeah, there's no right or wrong way.
And I think you being here also helps us because we're still learning as parents as well. We're still growing up as well, still figuring out adulting.
100%.
So yeah, you've been incredible guest. Thank you for bringing all your knowledge.
Thanks for having me.
And experience. It's been so insightful. I'm so proud of who you are and so thankful that you jumped on an episode with us. And I wish you nothing but great success for your future. I'm going to be so sad when you leave me here, but I know it's because you're pursuing all things that you put your mind to, and I can't wait to see what you become in this incredible world.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, and thanks, Plus Fitness. Thanks, everyone. Love you guys.
Everyone.
Keep watching the podcast.
Keep watching the podcast.